That's a Dan.
Greg, Isaac's back.
Got a band on this fit.
Yeah, go. He's in there.
You do?
Tonight we are going to be doing service projects around the church for youth group, and I'm just trying to collect all the necessary supplies so that we can get all those things done tonight. Did you know this is also the same name of a very successful professional soccer team in the Netherlands?
Espectacular, Neres.
This stuff is kind of the gist of what we need for tonight to accomplish our task. We have a lot more of this stuff stored elsewhere, but you get the idea.
Are you filming?
Yep. So Griffin, what's the verdict on the vacuum here? What do you think about it?
It's awesome.
It's awesome. It is a beast, yes.
Got a band on this fit.
Yeah, go. He's in there.
Really?
Did you get the black Air Forces in there?
No. Hold on. Those are those are nice shoes. Okay, well done.
He also has a bartender.
Look at this guy. Hey man, welcome back. It's good to see you, bro.
You too.
Yeah, how you doing?
Good.
All right, I think I finally got my setup right here. Tonight at youth group, things were a little squirrely, but I think it went really well. We had the students serve in different parts of the church tonight, and they all did a great job. If any of you guys are watching this and you were a part of the madness that was youth group tonight, you guys did an awesome job. All right, today is day 333. We're looking at Acts 24, 25, and 26. In yesterday's vlog, we didn't dive into really much detail at all about what was happening with Paul. And in order to kind of understand today's reading, we have to go back a little bit to yesterday's, as Paul is in like the trial phase of his life where the Jews are upset with him because he's preaching Christ, and they want to accuse him of this wrongdoing according to their law, and they're essentially trying to kill him, because they're saying and doing these things that disagree with the law, and they're just fed up with him. And today we open up with Paul before Felix, and Felix was a bit more gracious, you could say, towards Paul in comparison to Festus, who was the leader that came after Felix. Then we see, so with Festus very much was in favor of the Jews and wanted to do things that made them happy, and that essentially led Paul to make an appeal to Caesar. And that was a huge deal in terms of his trial. And then he's brought before King Agrippa and Bernice, and his case presented before them, and they basically say, there's like no fault with this guy, but because he appealed to Caesar, we have to go through due process. If he hadn't appealed to Caesar, we would release him, like he'd be free to go. In chapter 26, we see Paul give his defense, and he presents very notable facts in this case as to why he shouldn't be tried and convicted the way that the Jews are wanting him to be. But I love that in his defense, it leads him to share his testimony with everyone that could hear, and essentially the gospel. In chapter 26, verses 28 through 29, where Agrippa tells Paul, like, are you trying to persuade me to believe? And Paul responds beautifully, but also in a funny way, like, I wish that all of you were as I was, except not having these chains on you. Like, I don't want you to be in prison, but I want you to be a fully committed follower of Jesus. I want you to be a part of the way. This got me thinking that the greatest defense we have in our life is Jesus Christ and the gospel. It could lead to death. It could lead to pain and suffering. It could lead to extreme hardship and difficulty, but there is nothing better than declaring Jesus Christ and the gospel as our defense, because in the end we have that clear conscience, and we know that in the midst of a world that is confused about what is truth, that Jesus and the gospel, those are the true most important things. And I just love that about Paul. Like, in his defense, he goes to Christ. He goes to the gospel. And how much more so for you and I today, not just in our words, but in the way that we live, that we make a beeline for Jesus and showing the people around us how wonderful and how good Jesus is, that they too might believe in him as their Savior.